sit there long. It was just that metal frame. The mattresses were removed. It had a lip right in front to keep that mattress from sliding off. That made it very uncomfortable to sit there. Those things were done to break our spirits, but we were as low as we could go. They'd let us out, we'd take a bath, eat a good meal, be right back up in their faces because I still couldn't sit at that counter. In December of 1964, a letter was written by the Dallas County Voters League to a man named Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. inviting him to Selma to speak on Emancipation Proclamation Day, January the 1st. He accepted the invitation. Dr. King already knew of the work that SNCC had been doing in Selma. He already knew of the work that the Dallas County Voters League had been doing here in Selma toward voter registration. When he accepted his Nobel Peace Prize, he not only told this nation but the world that Selma, Alabama, my hometown, would be the headquarters for the battle for voting rights for African Americans in these United States. Things really heated up then. Dr. King brought in his lieutenants, and instead of one voter registration drive being just here in Selma, all the counties around us were being organized. They were marching on their courthouses demanding the right to vote. He sent Reverend James Orange, to Perry County, a small rural county approximately 30 miles west of us. In Perry County, Reverend Orange managed to organize students. Approximately 600 of them marched on their courthouse. They were put in jail, all of them, including Reverend Orange. That evening, a mass meeting was being held at a church on the corner. Reverend Orange himself told me that about 3 o'clock that same day, a state trooper came into the area where he was housed with a rope. On the end of that rope was tied a noose. Reverend Orange said he threw it over the top of his cell, and that noose hung in his face all day long. He had to sit there knowing it may be his last day on earth. That evening they let the children out. They ran straight to the church where the mass meeting was being held and disrupted the meeting. They said, you have to do something now. They're gonna kill him. The people in the church decided that they would walk down to that courthouse and walk around it all night long in hopes that their mere presence would save this man's life. When they left the church, they were attacked and brutally beaten by law enforcement officers. A young man named Jimmy Lee Jackson emerged from the church just in time to see a state trooper beating his grandfather, his 82-year-old grandfather. Jimmy ran over and he pleaded with this trooper, please don't beat my grandfather, he's an old man. Take him to jail if he's done something wrong. Jimmy's mom saw them beating her father too, and she ran over. As she approached, that state trooper drew back his billy club to hit her. Jimmy put up his hand to stop him, and that trooper shot him. Jimmy died 8 days later at Good Samaritan Hospital here in Selma. It was then that the leaders decided to walk from Selma to Montgomery. One to protest this young man's senseless death, the other to demand the right to vote from our then Governor George Wallace. On March 7, 1965, we left from that ragged cement on the playground of George Washington Carver Homes and came right down Broad Street and over this bridge and met a wall of policemen. We were led by John Lewis and Hosea Williams. That line stopped. John asked permission to pass. The policeman said there would be no march between Selma and Montgomery. You have 2 minutes to disperse and go back to your church. In 1 minute and 15 seconds they attacked. I had never experienced violence. When I crested that bridge and saw that line of policemen, I knew we were not going to Montgomery. I was too far back to see what was being said. But I knew the procedure. I knew when John Lewis and Hosea got to that line of policemen, one of them would ask permission to pass, it would be denied. would go down on their knees and we would follow suit. One of them would say a prayer, and after prayer they would stand up and lead us back to where we started from. We'd either plan a new strategy or just regroup, turn around and come back. As I'm standing there waiting for the front to go down, suddenly I hear gunshots and screams. I think they're killing the people down front. Before we could turn and run, it was too late. They came in from the front, the back, and both sides, and they were just beating people. Old, young, black, white, male, female, it didn't matter. They were just beating people. People lay everywhere bleeding, not moving, as if they were dead and you couldn't stop to help them. The gunshots I heard, nobody was shooting bullets on that bridge that day. It was the tear gas canisters being shot into the crowd. The tear gas burns your eyes, gets in your lungs. You can't breathe, you can't see, you panic. Oftentimes you run right back to the same people you were running from. It seemed like it lasted forever. If you could outrun those men on foot, you couldn't outrun the ones on horses. The horses were afraid. They were rearing and kicking. Bones were being broken. People were just being trampled. The last thing that I remember seeing on that bridge that day is this horse and this lady. And I don't know what happened. Did the horse run over her? Did the policeman hit her? I don't know. I do know that as I sit here 50 years later, I can still hear the sound her head made when it hit that pavement. The next thing I remember is being right along here where we're parked now, in the back of a car. My head was in my sister Linda's lap, and Linda was crying. When I became fully awake, I realized what was falling on my face were not my sister's tears. It was her blood. My 14-year-old sister had been beaten on that bridge and had wounds in her head that required 26 stitches. Yet on that Tuesday, March 9th, I held that same sister's hand as we followed Dr. King and Dr. Abernathy across that bridge again. When I crested that bridge, and I'm not embarrassed to tell you that I didn't want any more freedom. Whatever the cost of this freedom was just too much for this 11-year-old. I tried to go back, but my sisters held my hand, and they kept talking. One of them said, "Come on, they're not gonna beat Dr. King." I went, but I was scared. This time, Dr. King asked permission to pass. Policeman told him the same thing. There would be no march between Selma and Montgomery. But this time, the front went down. Dr. Abernathy said a prayer. After prayer, he and Dr. King stood up and led us back to Brown Chapel, where Dr. King held a mass meeting. At that mass meeting, he told us that he had applied for a court order that would give us the legal right to walk from Selma to Montgomery if we so wanted to, but more importantly, be protected. It was signed by a judge in Montgomery named Frank Johnson on March 17th, and on March 21st, we left Brown Chapel AME Church one more time. Came down Broad Street and over this very same bridge. And those same policemen who protected us, who beat us, had to protect us all the way from Selma to Montgomery. 5 days of walk. It started raining on the second day. Nobody turned around. There are no motels between Selma and Montgomery today. There were none then. People slept on the ground. Everything had to be brought to them. And do you know, August 6th of that very same year, the Voting Rights Act was signed. It removed those obstacles that prevented us from voting here in Dallas County. Out of a possible 15,000 eligible black voters, we went from 250 on the rolls to 9,600 almost immediately, and it still took us 36 years to get rid of the same mayor that was on the bridge in 1965. It's not just good enough to go register. It's not even just good enough to go vote. You have to be involved in the process. And until we became fully involved in the process, because the same people who were trying to prevent us from having the right to vote were the same people who were in charge of the elections. When we became involved, it changed almost immediately. Now you get ready to walk across this bridge. Remember, social movements are just like jigsaw puzzles. What is your piece? Where does your piece fit in this movement and how it would take us even further? We've come a long way. We just had so far to go. Don't give up now. Help take us where we need to go. Any questions? No? First time since I've been riding, y'all quiet. Okay, we're gonna get off the bus and it would present a beautiful picture if you guys walk man and woman, if you could, because our children have to understand that we have to work together. We still have a lot of issues, not just black and white, red and brown. We have gender issues. And until our children get to know each other and feel each other's pain, it's going to always be there. And when they see pictures of positive change, like men and women walking together on the Edmund Pettus Bridge, it helps. It's part of that, your piece. Can we do that? You gonna say something? Yes. You gonna say something?
Can we help?
Yes.
Yes. Can we be a little bit more enthusiastic about that? Yes. I think she gave a very wonderful presentation and sharing her own story. Let's give Ms. Bland a round of applause, please. Ms. Bland is not aware of this, but we're going to take up a separate offering to help her with her home or whatever else that you're wanting to do. So just like how we gave to our past tourists, as you're exiting the bus, I will have an envelope, and we will put in that envelope a nice love offering for her and her dedication to the mission and vision of this so wonderful process that's helped us have the privileges that we do take advantage of today. We're also going to have the photographer, Ms. Shanita, get off the bus before us, so please allow her to do so and have time to set up so that she can get footage of us exiting the bus as well as walking the bridge. Thank you, and let's give her one more round of applause, please.
Restroom in there?
Her question about the restrooms.
Say again?
Could we use the restroom before we take
It's not open.
Okay.
That's the problem that I've been working on here in Selma. Nothing's open on Sunday, which is an excellent time for tourism, but it's also an excellent time for God.
Right.
But in here, they just will not open anything. There are restrooms along the way. I'm trying to think of where the largest place is.
We have one on our bus. She just forgot. We have one on our
okay.
bus, so we're good.
Okay.
All right, thank you. I'm gonna have Shanita